Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
Look, 2020 has proven to be the year of many things, and the same for 2022. But if you're a small business, this could also be the year you switch to a better payroll. Gusto wasn't just built for small businesses, it was built for the people behind them. Their online payroll is easy to use. Gusto can automatically calculate paychecks and file all your payroll taxes, which means you have more time to run your business. Plus, Gusto does way more than payroll. Gusto helps with time tracking, health insurance, 401ks, onboarding, commuter benefits, offer letters, access to HR experts. You get the idea. It's super easy to set up and get started. If you're moving from another provider, they can transfer all your data for you. It's no surprise that 94% of customers are likely to recommend Gusto. And here's the best part. Because you're a listener to this podcast, you get 3 months totally free. All you have to do is go to gusto.com/compliance. That's gusto.com/compliance. I'm telling you, you're going to love Gusto. Get started today. Welcome to the Daily Compliance News for October 6, 2021. The morally bankrupt edition. And we begin with that story from Bloomberg. There was testimony by the Facebook whistleblower, Lauren Hagen, yesterday in front of the Senate, and we're going to go over that in a separate piece. But Bloomberg reports that Mark Zuckerberg has had a terrible week so far, and when they wrote that headline, it was only Tuesday. Obviously, the whistleblower allegations Sunday night on 60 Minutes were devastating, but the testimony today, or rather Tuesday at the Senate, was equally bad, with one senator calling Facebook morally bankrupt. Of course, on Monday, Facebook managed to, as they said, shut down their own system for 5 hours. I think most people thought it was a gift from Facebook, but it certainly did make Facebook look technically competent. So morally bankrupt or shut down or attacking whistleblowers, I'm not quite sure. But it's been a very bad week for Mr. Zuckerberg. As to the Senate testimony, as I mentioned, Lauren Hagen, the whistleblower, testified in front of the Senate and made clear that Facebook is intentionally targeting hate groups and teenagers in their Instagram account. And this is consistent with what she talked about in 60 Minutes, but it gave the senators an opportunity to express faux outrage. So if you've ever watched the circus that is the U.S. Senate, the only difference in this was that both Republicans and Democrats criticized Facebook. So it's going to be interesting to see if they'll actually do anything, of course. Since it's the U.S. government, I will leave that to you. In diversity and equality, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, a former black employee of Tesla who worked in a racially hostile environment was awarded more than $130 million in damages. He worked as an elevator operator in Tesla's Fremont, California factory in 2015 and 2016. He was regularly called racial epithets at work. He saw racist images and language in bathrooms and elsewhere. And Tesla apparently did nothing to ameliorate this problem. The trial, I have to say, it's a stunning verdict. As a recovering trial lawyer, the jury must have been incredibly pissed off. And the trial itself lasted only 1 week. The Tesla's attorney, as you might expect in her closing argument, said there was no evidence that a Tesla employee had harassed Mr. Diaz, and the company shouldn't be held liable for the treatment he alleged. I don't know if that's what pissed the jury off so much or not, but when you make that kind of statement on the defense side, you better be able to back it up. And finally, also from the Wall Street Journal, Elizabeth Holmes' office romance with Ramesh Sunny Balwani is now on full display in the Theranos trial. She claims that she was bullied into submission by Balwani, perhaps as her main defense, that trying to use the battered woman syndrome. Good luck with that. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.